So, welcome to Jumbo IS and welcome to our lecture series called Daily News in Shorts. In this lecture series, we cover that day's newspaper within a very short span of time, within 20 minutes. Now, today, the newspaper we are discussing is July 18th, 2024's newspaper. And there were certain important topics covered in this newspaper. So, let's take a look at those important topics. All right, these are very important for our preparation. Okay, so today's topics are as following. Number one, Karnataka private sector quota bill. So Karnataka's cabinet actually cleared a bill which reserves some jobs for the Karnataka people, local people, in private sector. So it's a very controversial bill. In the past, Haryana tried that. In the past, Andhra Pradesh also tried that. So it's a very controversial bill. We'll talk about this. Okay. Then Government of India has launched UEN Portal with respect to vaccination of children. Okay, so this UEN portal is related to immunization of children, pregnant mothers. So we'll talk about this UEN portal. Then there was this article in the Indian Express Explained page, on the Indian Express Explained page, regarding heavy rainfall in India. What are the reasons behind the distribution of monsoon this year? Okay, so we'll talk about this because this article actually gives us the reasons as to why monsoon reacts the way it reacts. All right. So why is there so much rainfall in some areas and so little rainfall in other areas? So we'll talk about this. And as you guys all know, there has been an accident in Maharashtra involving a rich kid, a Porsche, right? And the person driving that car was a minor. He's being tried. Minor means less than 18 years of age. So therefore, Juvenile Justice Board has come into question. And there are a few things regarding Juvenile Justice Board. Juvenile Justice Board actually tries kids who are accused of a certain crime, kids who are less than 18 years of age. Okay, so we'll talk about Juvenile Justice Board also. It is very important. So let's straight away jump to topic number one, which is Karnataka private sector quota bill. All right. Now, what has happened? Recently, Karnataka government approved Karnataka state employment of local candidates in industries, factories, and other establishment bill. So Karnataka government has approved this bill and they are going to present this bill in the Karnataka Assembly for passage. If passed, this will open the door for reservation of local candidates in the private sector. And there are so many tech companies in Karnataka, in Bangalore, right? So if this bill gets passed, then all these companies have to hire, they have to reserve certain jobs for the local residents. Okay. Now, top CEOs and industry bodies have warned Karnataka government against passing this law. Now, this is a big warning, and they have said that it would really impact their business. In the past, Andhra Pradesh tried this, Haryana tried this. In fact, Haryana tried this, and the issue went to the court, Punjab and Haryana High Court, and they rejected Haryana's attempt. Okay. First of all, let's see what are the provisions. What are the provisions in this particular bill? Okay, what are the major features of this bill? So this bill says that 50% of the jobs in the management category, top posts in a company, shall be reserved for local candidates. So if Google has an office in Bangalore, then 50% of the top management posts shall be reserved for local candidates. 75% of quota for local candidates in non-management category. That means local jobs. And if those companies say that we are trying to hire 50% people in management category from local areas, but we are unable to find qualified people in Karnataka, then it is the company's job to train and engage local candidates within 3 years, and within 3 years they have to fill those 50% posts. Now, this would force companies like Google, Amazon, Facebook, or any other tech company in Karnataka, or any other private company in Karnataka to fulfill these quota requirements. Now, it's a big thing to ask from them, and they are definitely angry. They have even warned that they will shift their base from Karnataka, from Bangalore. They will shift their office to some other state if this bill goes through. Okay, natural to say why politicians are making this bill, or politicians are trying to pass this bill. Well, because unemployment is a big issue in every state, and every state's politicians are trying to score some votes. They are trying to the youth, so they are saying that the local politicians, the state level politicians, they are saying that we'll reserve jobs for you so as to garner votes. Anyway, these are the features of the bill. All right, now, if this bill gets passed, or if any such bill gets passed in any other state also, what are the problems with bills like that? Reserving jobs in private sector. Government sector is fine, but private sector, what are the problems? There are three major problems. Okay. Number one is the problem of fundamental rights. And this problem was highlighted by Punjab and Haryana High Court when the case of Haryana went to them. when they rejected Haryana's bill, they use this argument. They say that these laws actually discriminate against Indian citizens. Such laws seeks to curb some citizens' constitutionally protected freedom to move freely throughout the territory of India and earn a livelihood. Article 19, which talks about freedom of speech and expression, also allows every Indian citizen to freely move and earn a livelihood in any part of the country. Now, that would get hampered because they won't be getting employment in Karnataka if such a bill gets passed. So, that would be a violation of fundamental right, Article 19 specifically. And this argument was given by Punjab and Haryana High Court. So, this is there. Then it would also promote Inspector Raj. Why? Because it will lead to reintroduction of a set of bureaucrats who are empowered to decide whether a firm should attract a penalty or be allowed to employ people from outside the states. There will be regular inspections in such companies. So, bureaucratic hassle, red tapeism would increase. And third, it would definitely impact private sector efficiency. In a day and age where states are trying to attract private investors, big private companies into their states, this would actually lead to big companies running away from Karnataka because it will raise regulatory costs for these companies, compliance costs for private firms. It will undermine their ability to attract the best talent because they'll be forced to attract talent from that particular state. They won't be allowed to attract talent from any other part of the country. Maybe someone from Madhya Pradesh is way more talented, but that company would be forced to hire someone from Karnataka, reducing their overall efficiency and profitability. So these are the three major problems with bills like these. Reservation in the private sector. All right? Okay. Now let's move on to second issue, which is UEN Portal. So UEN Portal currently is working on a pilot basis, trial basis in various parts of the country, almost all the states except West Bengal. Okay, but it is likely to be launched on 15th August 2024 and it is expected to bring a digital revolution of sorts as far as delivery of maternal and child healthcare is concerned. Okay, now how is it a digital revolution? We'll talk about that. But basically, UEN Portal will record all the vaccination related data of all the children in the country. So UEN Portal will capture every vaccination event for pregnant women and children under the Universal Immunization Program. So how will it work basically? Look, children between 0 to 5 will be registered and vaccines given to them at birth will be recorded. Each child's name, their identity and the number of vaccines they have gotten will be recorded on a digital portal. Then a list of children who are scheduled to receive next dosage or next vaccine shot shall be generated and SMS alerts will be given to parents. Okay, so parents will be given SMS alerts that your child's vaccine is due in 2 months. Okay, plus the portal also records birth weight and other details. How much did the child weigh? Is he suffering from malnourishment, malnutrition, right? And these details will be used for other programs of the government. All right. Plus, earlier when children were taken by their parents to vaccination centers, they had to carry a booklet in which all the details were mentioned about their child. Okay, and how many vaccines he has received, how many vaccines he has to receive. They had to carry that booklet. Now that all this data is going to be recorded digitally, they don't have to carry this booklet. All right. So it is a digital portal. Basically, it will ease everything as far as vaccination of pregnant mothers and young children under 5 children are concerned. All right. Now on this portal, ASHA workers shall be empaneled. Accredited social health activities, accredited social health activists. Sorry, ASHA workers, Anganwadi workers, auxiliary nurse, midwives. These people will be enrolled on UEN Portal, and it is their job to update a particular child's profile on UEN Portal. So whenever a child receives a vaccination shot, well, Anganwadi workers or ASHA workers will update that child's profile on UEN Portal. All right. So this is what UEN Portal is. Now straight away, let's jump to third news item, which is heavy rainfall in India. Now, for the first time this season, the southwest monsoon is active over a large geographical area of India. Okay, large geographical area. Generally, when southwest monsoon is active, well, some areas receive the rainfall, some areas don't. But now, a big chunk of the country is actively receiving rainfall. At least 80% of the country last week reported widespread rainfall, with heavy to very heavy rainfall in Assam, West Bengal, Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Gujarat, coastal Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala, and Lakshadweep. This generally doesn't happen. If one area is receiving heavy rainfall, then the other areas don't receive that much heavy rainfall, right? But this time, almost 80% of the country is receiving very heavy rainfall. So, what are the reasons behind this? And by understanding the reasons, you'll also understand how southwest monsoon works. Okay, so reasons for high rainfall. First of all, in North India, rainfall also comes from westerlies. Now, westerlies are winds that blow from west to east and they blow in the middle latitudes. Middle latitudes means 30° north to 60° north. Okay, now they blow from west to east. Now they are blowing from Arabian Sea, from Mediterranean Sea towards the Indian peninsula. All right, not Indian peninsula, but the Indian subcontinent. Now, as soon as they cross the Arabian Sea, Mediterranean Sea, Caspian Sea, when they reach India, North India, they gather moisture from these seas and they drop that moisture in the form of rainfall. So North India receives a lot of rainfall from westerlies, especially during the winters. But this time in the summers also westerlies have been active, and the continuous incoming of moisture-laden strong westerly winds from Arabian Sea have caused rainfall in North India. Okay, so North India is not just receiving rainfall from southwest monsoon; they're also receiving rainfall from westerlies. Plus, monsoon trough. Now, what is monsoon trough? Basically, it's a low pressure area, extremely low pressure area. Okay, and wherever this low pressure area is, their heavy rainfall bursts out. Okay, now monsoon trough, technically it is a low pressure area between that becomes active during the summer months between Pakistan and Bay of Bengal. Hence southwest monsoon winds reach here. Okay, because it's an extremely low pressure area. Now this low pressure area generally moves north to south. It oscillates between north south, and whenever it goes in the southern direction, well, peninsular India receives the rainfall. When it moves in the northern direction, North India receives a lot of rainfall, and it is continuously moving. So these areas are continuously receiving rainfall. Okay, plus there is a small low pressure area between Gujarat coast and Kerala coast. This is also moving continuously, so Gujarat and Kerala are also receiving rainfall. Plus, the low pressure system in Bay of Bengal has moved towards Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, so these areas are also receiving rainfall. Plus, wind shear zone is developing. Now, what is a wind shear zone? Basically, it is a small geographical area where wind speeds drastically change. Okay, so wind is traveling 20 km per hour. It will, and within this short area, very small geographical area, the speed of the wind will shift to 60 km per hour drastically. Now, in some areas in peninsular India, wind shear zones have been developing, and because of that, some areas are receiving rainfall. Okay, so these are the basic 5 reasons because of which 80% of India is receiving regular rainfall. All right, now let's move on to the last news item, which is Juvenile Justice Board. Now, why Juvenile Justice Board was in news? Look, first of all, you need to know every state government, every state establishes a Juvenile Justice Board in its state. Okay, now what is the job of Juvenile Justice Board? Basic job of Juvenile Justice Board is to try minors for criminal offenses. Okay, so if a child has committed a criminal offense and child is less than 18 years of age, then he will not be taken to regular courts. He or she shall be taken to Juvenile Justice Board. And Juvenile Justice Board is established in 1 or 2 Juvenile Justice Boards are established in every state. Now, Maharashtra's Women and Child Development Department has recommended disciplinary action against 2 non-judicial members of Maharashtra's JJB. Some members of Maharashtra's Juvenile Justice Board have actually are actually being, I mean, they are being questioned because some of their moves were controversial. They actually let go of a minor. There are some allegations of bribery also, that they easily allowed a minor who was accused in this Porsche accident case scot-free. Okay, so for various procedural lapses in granting bail to minor accused in Pune Porsche car case, so they didn't follow all the procedural steps, and they let go of. They allowed this 16, 17-year-old boy to get bail. Okay, now this is a controversial thing, but you need not worry about this. This is a case, but questions aren't going to be asked about this case. The questions that are going to be asked would be from what is Juvenile Justice Board? Is it a statutory body? If it is a statutory body, then under which act of parliament it is formed? All right. So first, let's take a look at Juvenile Justice Board. So basically, Juvenile Justice Board is a statutory body, right? And this statutory body basically was formed under this act of Parliament. Juvenile Justice, Care and Protection of Children Act 2015. Okay. Now JJB has all the powers under Criminal Procedure Code, and it has to have these powers because it will be trying children, minors less than the age of 18, for criminal offenses. So it has to have all the powers of Criminal Procedure Code like any other court. Okay. Now Juvenile Justice Board has some members. There are some judicial members, okay, judges, judicial magistrates, and some non-judicial members like psychologists and sociologists who understand child sociology and psychology. Okay. Members are selected by a selection committee that is headed by a retired judge of a high court. All right. Now, tenure of each member is 3 years. All right. And each member is allowed a maximum of 2 terms, 2 consecutive terms. So basically, a member can serve for not more than 6 years consecutively. Okay. Also, there is one thing. Look, before Nirbhaya case, okay, Nirbhaya, that Delhi gang rape case, Juvenile Justice Boards and Juvenile Justice Act, under Juvenile Justice Act, anyone, any child who is less than the age of 18 years, well, child is less than the age of 18, but anyone who is less than the age of 18 will not be tried as an adult. His sentences shall be short even if a 17-year-old commits a murder. Then also, he won't get a full-blown prison sentence. Okay, he won't be tried as an adult. If an adult commits a murder, then he'll get a full-blown sentence, prison sentence. But if it is a child, if someone is less than 18 years of age, then he won't be tried as an adult. He won't get the full punishment. He will be tried as a child, minor. But in Delhi gang rape case, there were 1 or 2 accused who were 17 years old and they committed heinous of heinous crimes. Okay, so there was this hue and cry that this 17-year-old boy should be tried like an adult. He should be given a full sentence. Therefore, a new Juvenile Justice Act was formed in 2015, which said children between the age of 16 to 18, if they commit heinous crimes, not petty crimes, heinous crimes like a murder, rape, all right, then those minors in this age bracket can be tried as an adult. But who would take a call on this as to whether this minor should be tried as an adult or not? Juvenile Justice Board. Okay, so their job is big, and that's why we need psychologists and sociologists in it. Now let's talk a bit more about Juvenile Justice Act. Okay, so in 2015 this act was passed. It replaced Juvenile Delinquency Law and Juvenile Justice Act of 2000. The act introduced the provisions to allow trials of juveniles in the age group of 16 to 18 years as an adult who were found to be indulged in heinous crimes. I've told you this. Plus, there is an agency in our country called CARA, Central Adoption Resource Authority. It is responsible for adoption cases, parents opting for adoption of a child, right? So CARA is responsible for this. So under Juvenile Justice Act, this CARA is also formed. So CARA is also a statutory body formed under Juvenile Justice Act. Okay, CARA takes care of all adoption related matters. Okay, makes sense? And with that, we come to an end of this lecture. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I'm sure it has added value, but it will add more value if you are consistent and regular with this series. All right, that would be all. I would see you next with the newspaper discussion on July 19th. Newspaper discussion of July 19th newspaper. Thank you, everyone.